Okay, so in this video we are going to talk about object properties of three parametric objects. One is cube, one is cylinder, and one is disk. So let's start with this cube. I'll select this cube first like this, and in object properties, as you guys can see, we will get size and segments. Now what is segments? So let's press N on your keyboard. Let's select this and press N. Then whenever you are going to click N on your keyboard, you will get this kind of pop-up menu. Then as you guys can see, if you see D over here, we have written that quick shading lines. So then I'll press D. So as you guys can see, we will get this kind of lines at the edge of this object like this. Okay, so this is how you can create lines for your object. Suppose if I create another object, like let's say sphere also, and if I move this over here, as you guys can see, we will get those edgy lines for object. So let's delete this now. Let's talk about this object properties of this cube. Now in object properties of this cube, first we will get its size, and even if you see over here, we will get this dots at the arrow. With the help of that, you can increase the size on x-axis, on z-axis, and also on y-axis, and you can change the size manually also. Now I'll make right click to make the default value like this, and then you will get this option called segments. Now segment X means it will increase the segment on x-axis, which means on this side. So if I increase this value, as you guys can see, we can increase this on x-axis, then we can increase on y-axis, and then on segment z-axis. So again, I'll right click and I'll make 1. Now after that, you will get this option known as fillet. So let's talk about what is that. Now if you see the edges of this cube, which are very sharp, suppose I want to make them smoother. So what I'm gonna do, I'll simply click on this fillet option. So because of that, as you guys can see, the edges are now not properly sharp, but they are quite smoother. Then we have this fillet radius. Right now it is 40, but if I decrease the value, I'll get something like this. Okay, and if I increase the subdivisions, it will increase the lines on that. And if you press Ctrl R now, as you guys can see, the edges are quite smoother. So this is how you can use fillet option to make your edges smoother. Okay, so this is for cube. Now I'll select this cube and I'll hide it like this. Now we will talk about this cylinder. So I'll enable my cylinder over here. Now for the cylinder, we have different options. So let's see what are that. Now as you guys can see, we have radius over here. With the help of that, you can increase the radius of the cylinder. Then you have height options. Then we have height segments, so it will increase the segments on their heights. Like if I increase it over here, as you guys can see, we will get something like this. So simply right click again, and we have rotation segment also. So now it will create segments on this point. So like if I increase it, as you guys can see, we can increase this kind of lines, and if we decrease it, we will get something like this. So you can play around with this settings to create different shapes. Then we have one option which is known as orientation. Right now it's Y. Basically it points towards the y-axis. If I choose x minus x, so it will point toward the minus x value. So right now let's choose y value only. Then we have caps options. Right now, as you guys can see, it's select. If we deselect it, as you guys can see, we are not gonna get any fill at the edge of it. So let's choose cap again, and segment is 1. If you want, then you can increase the segments also, so it will increase the segments over here as well as here. It's totally up to you. Whenever you want to create for certain models, then you can increase the caps like this. And like our cube, which is over here, if you unhide it and if you move this over here, this cylinder, as you guys can see, in cube also we have fillet option. Similarly, in cylinder also we have fillet option. If I enable it, at the edge of this cylinder, we will get this kind of fillet, and you can adjust the radius to 10 centimeters and segment to 5 centimeters, and if you want, then you can increase also like this. Then we have extra options over here, which is known as slice. Now slice, basically it will cut it out this cylinder. For example, if I enable this slice, as you guys can see, from is 0 and 2 is 180. If I increase the from value to, let's say, 180 only. So now we cannot see anything except this thing. And if I make this minus 80, so we'll get something like this. So basically with the help of that you can create this kind of structure, and you can create this kind of animation also, like this. Right now I'll adjust it somewhere around like this. Then you will get this option called regular grid. If you see over here at this portion, you will get this kind of lines which is weird look. And suppose if you want to grid type of lines, then you can simply click on it, so you will get this kind of lines like that. Okay, so this is how you can adjust this cylinder also. Now we will talk about this disc also. Disc basically it's one type of cylinder, but it's not extruded. So let's move this disc over here. An option of this disc is also similar to this cylinder, but over here you will get this inner radius and outer radius. Let's talk about what is that. Now as you guys can see, the inner radius is 0. If I increase the inner radius value, we will get something like this. Also we will get outer radius value, so you can create this kind of shape. So basically it's one type of torus also. And then you will get this disc segment options. With the help of that you can adjust their disc segments and rotational segments also. Similarly we have orientation options like that. Okay, so let's make this plus y now. And also for this one also we will get this slice. If you click on it, you will get same options. With the help of that you can create something like this shape. Okay, so these are three parametric objects. Now as I said, we have so many parametric objects, and it's totally idiotic to talk about all of them. So these are some basic, and I would suggest you can check it out each and every one, and you can find out this kind of object properties by yourself. So it would be better for you to understand.